Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking something truly special, a powerful, highly poetic contemplation on society, development, and civic duty written by Oluyomi Ola-David. The piece we're diving into is called Citizen Education is Paramount, and let me tell you, it serves as this fascinating mirror held right up to society. It really challenges us to look hard at the very foundations of how we build our communities and our nations. Right off the bat, she hits us with this incredible quote that sets the stage for everything we're about to explore regarding our roles in society. She writes, "What is education without a compass?" I want you to really sit with that for a second. She's asking us to evaluate the actual purpose behind our knowledge. Education is fantastic, sure, but if you don't have a moral or directional compass guiding that knowledge, where are you actually going? She is immediately establishing that our tools and systems, they're completely meaningless without a guiding principle.
So, the architect of this message, who is Oluyomi Ola-David?
Oluyomi Ola-David is a Nigerian thinker who is just deeply, fundamentally concerned with global development and transformation. Her whole professional and personal brand is entirely focused on generating solutions and providing real clarity in a world that, let's face it, can often feel incredibly chaotic. She isn't just sitting around pointing out problems, she's actively looking for the way forward.
Looking at her own biography, her motivations are just so beautifully laid out. She states very clearly that she loves people. She wants to influence policy and strategy to make actual, real-world impacts. And, absolutely crucial to understanding her, she is driven by her faith. She describes her Father God as the wheel within my wheels, basically the core driving force powering her forward. This deep faith and profound love for humanity form the absolute bedrock of the poem we're exploring today.
Which brings us to a major theme here, the paradox of purpose.
She essentially uses her poetry as a sharp diagnostic tool for societal problems, bringing us right back to that opening thought. What is education without a compass? Well, she completes the thought by comparing it to the absolute uselessness of blind eyes. She's arguing that just having eyes doesn't mean you can see, right? And just having an education doesn't mean you have vision or direction. Without that inner compass, education just cannot guide you or society anywhere meaningful.
Next, she tackles religion, asking what it becomes without a bridle. A bridle, the gear you use to steer and control a horse. She suggests that religion without this kind of guiding restraint is as ineffective as lame legs. It has the potential for immense power and movement, but without the proper checks, balances, and moral steering, it just can't carry a society forward. In fact, it becomes stagnant, or worse, even dangerous.
Moving on from the personal side, we're looking at trade, vision, and development.
She pivots from those personal and spiritual virtues straight into the structural pillars of society. She argues that trade without an actual good results in empty stalls. It's a perfect visual, isn't it? You can have a bustling marketplace, you can have all the infrastructure of commerce, but if there is no actual tangible value being exchanged, it's literally just an empty stall. Similarly, she states that business without a reward is nothing but a fairy tale. She is grounding us in reality here. Economic structures absolutely must be rooted in tangible value and mutual benefit, otherwise the whole thing is just an illusion.
Furthermore, she warns that vision lacking virtue is basically like having flat wheels. You can have a grand, amazing destination in mind, but without virtuous character driving you, you are going to grind to a halt. And this brilliantly illustrates her next point. Development without a mind equates to blunt tools. You can swing a hammer all day long, but if the tool is blunt and there's no intellectual rigor or mind behind the development strategy, your efforts are going to be exhausting and completely ineffective.
And then, she poses this striking question to us directly. What is hope without a promise? She equates this kind of baseless hope to empty clouds. Imagine looking up at the sky during a severe drought, seeing clouds, hoping for rain, only for those clouds to blow away completely empty. It's a devastating metaphor for political or social promises that offer hope on the surface, but have absolutely no substance or commitment backing them up.
And this naturally brings us to the core thesis of her contemplation, the Patriot's Call. Having broken down all these paradoxes of systems lacking purpose, she connects that structural purpose directly to national duty. She asks, what is country without a patriot, and compares that absence to broken hands. Hands are our primary tools for building, holding, and shaping our environment. By equating a lack of patriotism to broken hands, she's basically telling us that a nation without citizens who deeply care for it has lost its very ability to build a future. The nation becomes entirely paralyzed.
So having diagnosed all these paradoxes, her ultimate solution requires some deep ownership. The theme is, Nigeria is mine. Moving swiftly into her solution, she issues this rousing, completely unapologetic call to action. She starts with a firm command to her fellow citizens, compatriots, arise. She is telling them to stand up, to shake off the apathy, and to awaken to their responsibilities. It's a demand for real movement and active engagement from everyone who calls the nation home.
Then she calls out, shareholders shine. I just love her use of the word shareholders in a purely civic context here. She's calling on every single citizen, reminding them that they hold a literal, actual stake in the nation's future. As shareholders of the country, she is urging them to step into the light, radiate their full potential, and take active ownership of their investment in the nation.
The pacing of her words really accelerates here. She declares, light win. In just 2 simple words, she's declaring a definitive victory for illumination, truth, and progress over darkness, ignorance, or corruption. It is a powerful affirmation of exactly where that compass of education should be pointing. And she demands that excellence reign. She doesn't want the blunt tools or the flat wheels running society anymore. She is demanding that the absolute highest standards of excellence take the throne in leadership, in business, and in civic engagement.
Finally, she brings it all home with the ultimate declaration of personal responsibility and patriotic pride. Nigeria is mine. That is such a profound statement. Think about it. When you truly claim something as your own, you don't vandalize it, you don't ignore its decay, and you definitely don't wait for someone else to come along and fix it. You care for it, you protect it, you build it up. She is offering a blueprint for national transformation rooted entirely in personal accountability.
So, as we wrap up this explainer of Oluyomi Oladevid's brilliant work, we really have to turn the lens back onto ourselves. The paradoxes she highlighted, they apply to literally every society on Earth. So ask yourself, how will you act as the compass, the virtue, and the patriot in your own community? Ultimately, will you claim your role in shaping your country's future? Think deeply about that, and let it guide your actions today.